In this tutorial, we're going to talk about the pen tool, and then we're going to trace artwork. The pen tool is one of the most important tools in Illustrator, the most useful, extremely necessary, and you'll notice that once you start using it, you will never stop. So this is an important tutorial. Now, this is the pen tool. And so far we've been doing drawings using the brush tool, the line segment tool, drawing freehand on the artboard. But now with the pen tool, we can draw like specific things. We can draw exactly what we want. It's not random anymore. And so let's go ahead and start. So I will select the pen tool and then change the colors in my toolbox. Let me get rid of the black outline and then change this white color to red for the fill. Okay, so let me start by showing you what this does. I just want to click once on the artboard, and what this does is it creates one vector point for me. Okay, and then click somewhere else once. This is another vector point. Click here. This is a third vector point. Now, since I have the red color selected, you can start seeing the red color shape take shape. Now, fourth vector point, fifth vector point, and so forth. And then let's say you want to complete your shape. This is a sort of a polygon, but not accurate. So let's say I want to close my shape. I began with this first vector point, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then I want to close my shape. To close my shape, first of all, what do I mean by closing my shape? If I take you to the outline mode by hitting Command Y, you will see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and that's because I have 5 vector points. I still haven't closed my shape. When I close my shape, I will have a fifth line right here. Okay? Now, let me go back to normal mode. And to close my shape, I need to hover over the very first vector point that I created, which is this one. So if I hover over it, you will see a small circle form next to the pen tool. When you see the small circle, it means that my shape is ready to close. Okay? So if I click now, I have a full shape, and if I show you in the outline mode, this is my shape, and it starts at this vector point and ends here. Nothing's leaking, if you will. That's how I'll put it. Okay? So in this exercise, I just clicked once and then clicked another time, just clicked. I didn't do anything but clicking, and when I reached the beginning, I just closed because I saw that circle near the pen tool. Okay, let's delete those and try something else now. What if I want curves and not straight lines? What do I do? So I click once, and then let's say I want to form a curve like this. I click here, but I don't release. So I'm going to click, and I haven't released yet. Okay? I haven't released, and what I want to do with my finger still clicking, I want to drag so that I create a curve. Okay? And then come here to this part, click without releasing, drag to make the curve even bigger. Come to this area, click and drag. Remember, when you click to drag, do not release your hand, otherwise you'll end up throwing a vector point randomly on the artboard, which belongs to nobody. Okay, and then I want to close this vector point, my shape, click and drag, and that's how I have this odd ellipse circle and so forth. Now, let's see what we can do with the possibilities of using the pen tool. So far we drew straight lines. We just drew like a circle or an ellipse shape by clicking once and then click another time and drag, click another time and drag without releasing. Now what if I want a specific shape that has curves but has angles at the same time? Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's say I want to draw a tree, like a tree the way a child would draw a tree, like, you know, this fluffy way. I will start here, click once and just release, and then come to the top and then click and drag. So I have my curve. This is already, you know this. Now what I wish to do is add another similar, you know, arch, if you will, right here. Okay. If I do the same thing I've been doing so far, which is clicking in another place and then dragging, I'm going to have this wavy effect, which is not what I want for this exercise. What I want here is for an angle to form at this vector point and then another new arch to begin. So this is where I will introduce the concept of tangent handles. What you see here is a vector point that has two tangent handles. We call these tangent handles. These tangent handles we use to manipulate our path. Obviously, the pen tool is something that you will master with experience. You can watch this tutorial and practice. And actually, this tutorial will cover everything that has to do with the pen tool, but really you need to practice to get a feel of how you use it. So going back to the tangent handles, in order for me to create another arch that starts right here and makes an angle with this existing vector point, I need to get rid of this extra tangent handle. It's not an extra tangent handle, it exists there for a reason, but it's preventing me from creating my new arch here. So what I need to do is erase it, and the way to do that is just to hold down the Alt key, and then this you know, this V shape will appear, this inverted V shape will appear, which actually has a name. It's called Convert Anchor Point Tool, but I'm going to call it the V shape. So hold down the Alt key, and then this inverted V shape will appear, and then hover over this vector point and click once, and that will allow you to get rid of that tangent handle. So now you only have one. What this tangent handle is doing, it's responsible for this curve. Okay? So I need it. I'm not going to remove it. Now what I need to do is create my new arch. So I'll click here and drag. You see now what I got? I have an angle between my existing vector point and my new one, because that's the effect that I wanted. Same thing here. I want to get rid of this tangent handle. So I'll hover over the vector point, hold down the Alt key, and click. So same thing, click and drag, click and drag, hover over, hold down the Alt key, and get rid of the additional tangent handle. And then I'm ready to close my shape, and so I close my shape because I got that little circle next to the pen tool. Okay, now let's say I want to change something in this, you know, this flowery drawing. Maybe I want to change the direction of one of these curves. Maybe I want to get rid of this whole extra curve in the first place. What do I do then?